Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Rusty McCranie and welcome to Weather Express. It's your weather in just 5 minutes. Start the clock. Friends, a better chance for showers and storms here out west in the Intermountain West. Trying to cool things off a bit. Still some hot conditions there. Thunderstorms up the eastern seaboard and a better chance of tropical development over and just east of Florida as we head towards the 4th of July weekend. Let's start off with what's happening today in the Northeast. I'm going to bring on the visible satellite imagery here. It's been a beautiful day, a lot of sunshine, temperatures not bad in the 70s and 80s in most spots. You look at Nantucket though, and they have fallen back down into the 60s, and that's because we've had showers and storms skirt the New England coastline for today, moving offshore right now. Now these were much more prominent earlier on this Wednesday, right along, Rhode Island and Long Island and Connecticut, back down towards Jersey. Starting to see those storms still impacting portions of southeast Virginia and into the Carolinas. I've got the warnings on as well. One severe thunderstorm warning in red over Raleigh. The yellows are going to be special weather statements. So mainly these storms are producing winds of up to 50 miles an hour and some quarter-inch size hail. Nothing appreciably outrageous for today. And again, these thunderstorms will kind of bail down I-95. We still have our upper level low just to the northeast of Florida, helping to enhance the sea breeze here. And again, your orange area is a 40% chance for tropical development beginning on July 4th, especially over the weekend, and I'll have more on that coming up. Back into the southern plains, scattered showers and storms developing. Nothing is outrageously organized though. Over central Texas near Abilene, we've had a couple of storms in Dallas up towards Sherman and Oklahoma City, across I-40 there. Actually, the most prolific thunderstorms for today are going to be in portions of the Four Corners in the Intermountain West. Now, these are current temperatures and they're all over the place. You've got some near triple digit heat like Salt Lake City and portions of Montana where we have had some 100-degree temperatures. You have some higher elevation temperatures in the 60s. You've got your baking 110 back down towards the Phoenix area. Redding also is above 100 degrees for today as well. And then you have a little bit in the way of some extra cloud coverage bringing some thunderstorms here. There's a lot of instability in the atmosphere. So, there's the opportunity that some of these storms could be on the stronger side. Looking at the current warnings, again, you don't really see a ton of yellow and red polygons here up into Idaho and Montana. We've had some of that near the Dillon area in Hamilton that has just developed in the last hour or two. But taking a look at the winds, that's another big story in this area. So these are going to be your current wind gusts. First of all, where the air is dry, we do have red flag warnings for a fire threat, but just very gusty conditions are expected here and along the west coast as well. So when we look at overall the threats here, these are going to be your National Weather Service advisories. Again, this is mainly going to be for wind and the fire threat out west and a couple of areas of severe storms. But when I show you the risk for severe weather for today overall, it's highest up into Montana and portions of the Dakotas and the western Great Lakes as well. Just isolated scattered thunderstorms as we get into the southeast. For tomorrow, it's still going to be in that darker green from eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, general thunderstorm southeast. The activity west moves a little bit further to the east. And then for the 4th of July itself, we're going to see, well, actually this is tomorrow. I apologize. Tomorrow is the slight risk area here in the Dakotas and back into New York City. I want to highlight that coming up. That is again for your Thursday, the 4th of July. It does quiet back down, but we got to watch out for the chance for some storms there, of course, with that stalled out boundary and the opportunity for some tropical activity to develop in that region. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to bring up the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh. We'll loop this up over the next 48 hours. I am going to start out west because again, this is the most prolific storms here. We're going to have a mid-level low developing right here over the northern sides of Nevada, going to kick off energy through Idaho, the eastern sides of Oregon and Washington state, across Montana. And again, those storms will be blowing up a bit as they get towards North Dakota and eventually will kind of come up and over a big ridge of high pressure here in the Midwest, bringing some pretty darn strong storms to Minnesota and into the UP of Michigan. Now, again, for tomorrow, you're going to see some of this activity with a front drift off towards the south. It's not going to be, this long chance for storms for tomorrow here on the 3rd, but you can see that any of the storms that develop could produce some really gusty winds, and there is a slight risk of severe storms that does include New York City for tomorrow. Now, in the southeast, we're going to have our typical summer thunderstorms, but again, as this boundary stalls out, you're going to start to see a broader spin over Florida and then a tighter spin, especially on the 4th itself, off of the northeast coast of Florida, and that could be the beginning of a low-level center of circulation beginning to develop, potentially even tropical storm Chantal as it moves up the eastern seaboard. There's still a lot to be kind of borne out in the models here, but this will be very impactful weather for the 4th of July weekend across the southeast, especially the east coast and especially into Florida, with a lot of rain, elevated rain conditions and surf and sea conditions. Not fantastic for beach goers. Friends, I'm out of time. Thanks for making Weather Express a part of your daily routine. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And let me know in the comment section below where you're viewing from as well. I appreciate that. Have a great rest of your day. I'm back tomorrow with your latest 5-minute forecast.